my name's Tom, and I've got a Cayman S 3.4. I got the car about 2 years ago now. Went up to see it in Lancashire and essentially just bought it the same day, fell in love with it. Yeah, always wanted a Porsche, and essentially a 987 is probably the only one I can afford these days. Many years ago, in my 20s, it was all the Volkswagen scene, you know, going to all the different shows. And yeah, so I used to have a Mark IV Golf with a Bora front end, fully repainted, air-eyed, retrimmed, the whole shebang, you know. Then you grow up, you get kids, and I probably didn't go to a car show for up until last year, when I got the Porsche and did some bits to it, and thought, well, quite enjoyed that. Let's give it a go and go back and see some more friends, which is what I've done. When I first bought it, no, I didn't think I was going to modify it at all. I've got an A6 on air, some Bentley wheels, and that was sort of that's my daily driver. Yeah, no, I didn't expect. I thought that was going to be a Sunday car. Just leave it standard, leave it as it is, and just drive it. And within about 2 weeks of getting it, things started to be bought for it. Plans were made. Wheels were bought on eBay. A year and a half later, it's how it is now. I've always loved BBS. They were on my old Golf, and the RSs, there was some for sale on eBay, but a full, you know, not just the centres, they were the whole wheel. And the plan was obviously to build them up from 17s up to 19s. Dan at Wheel Unique, I sent the wheels up to him. He's done my Bentley wheels, and he's incredible at what he does. Fully stripped them down, brushed them, built them back up with, you know, he helped measure and all that. He was a legend with that. Then it went off for paint, remachine down in Nottinghamshire, and they fully stripped it back, repainted it in Aratium green. The reason I went for that colour was essentially I've always wanted to paint a Volkswagen that colour. That was the original idea from many years ago. It's an old Porsche colour. Never had a Volkswagen that I could paint that colour, and then bought the Porsche, and the initial idea was to repaint the car white. And then when it was stripped back, I was looking at it and I was just looked at Martin and was just like, let's just paint it, let's go green. And yeah, I think it was a good decision. I'm glad I did it. It stands out. And then it went to Plush pretty quickly after that. I'd booked it in whilst it was being painted with Luke, and it went down to him for quite a few months, and they essentially had to build this kit from new. There was no 987 with the PASM technology built into it. So gave it to him. I said, look, I want to keep the PASM. I want to keep that in the car because I love that option. So they worked the magic, and yeah, got it sorted for me. And then the wheels went on as soon as the suspension. I took the wheels down to Luke and he put them on, and the car was essentially sort of born there. So for the engine, no, nothing at the moment. Well, apart from there's a different exhaust, aftermarket exhaust. But as it stands now, to be honest, it drives beautifully. Porsche did a good job with the engine, and it's got enough power for what I need, you know, country roads. Yeah, so it does get used a lot. Every weekend in the summer, if it's nice, it gets out. Even in the rain, really, it gets out and just clean it off at the end. Got a few road trips planned, one through Europe, through France, down to the Swiss Alps, and then into Italy, which should be good for a week. Take it through some Swiss passes and whatnot, give it a blast. I went down to Ultra Race last year. That was a bit of a trek, a lot of motorway driving, long days, 3 days there, 3 days back. But yeah, it gets driven hard. Yeah. There's a few Porsche purists that sort of raise their eyebrows when they first see it. but it handles incredibly. It handles better than it was standard. And whenever you take people out who are a bit, ooh, it's air ride, it's going to be, you know, a bit sloshy. As soon as they get in the car and they drive it, or they're in the passenger seat, they're impressed by it. It, you know, really does handle well. And you can drive it low, you can drive it, you know, into multi-story car parks, just raise it up. You know, it's practical as well as handles.
Have you got any future plans for the car, or is it?
Yeah, there's a few little things. Bit of carbon here and there, I think, and a retrim inside. The leather seats are starting to look a little bit tired now. It's getting old. And a ducktail spoiler. That's in the process of being sorted now. Yeah, for the show season. My favourite thing about the car is probably, it's a difficult one. It's really hard. Maybe the colour, but then I love the wheels and I love the suspension. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Probably the colour. Yeah, probably the colour. Show-wise for 2024, yeah. So we've got Edition Reloaded. That's booked in for German Car Festival in October. Hopefully get down to that at Goodwood. I've been Tom. Hope you've enjoyed hearing about my 987. Hope to see you at German Car Festival.